Hello, Pottercast fans. We got a brand new Pottercast for you. It actually was the live show we did a little bit ago. Couple of quick notes before we get into this episode. There's a new Roll 9 3/4 out today. That's our Harry Potter D&D podcast where me and John and Frack and Bree play a really fun, silly game of Dungeons and Dragons set in the Harry Potter universe. It's so much fun. Go check it out. We also have been unrolling tons and tons of new merch at mischiefmerch.com. It's all for your geeky sensibilities. There's a Pottercast shirt. There's lots of other things happening on there as well. We think you'll really enjoy it. And if you want to continue being part of our community on both the Pottercast Patreon, which is patreon.com/pottercast, or the Mischief Media Patreon, which is patreon.com/makingmischief. In both of those groups, you can get access to our Discord. Our Discord is where we're chatting about everything, not just Harry Potter, but television and Animal Crossing and all of our pets and what we're cooking during quarantine. It's actually a lot of fun, and it's kept me personally quite comforted during this time. That's about it. Go enjoy the episode, and we will see you very soon. We promise we're getting on a regular schedule one of these days. Thanks for hanging in there, as always, for being with us after all this time.
Welcome to another...
The official podcast of The Leaky Cauldron.
The Leaky Cauldron. The Leaky Cauldron. Do you hear that, Ern? The Leaky Cauldron.
Just go! You're wasting time!
Hello, welcome to Pottercast.
Howdy. How's y'all doing out there?
Time machine.
It is?
What?
Does that mean we're allowed to go out and hang out with folks?
No, it does not.
Oh,
You're
no.
still-
Time machine my
exception
ass.
machine. An exception machine.
Oh, geez.
Well, you are listening to a live recording of Pottercast, the Harry Potter podcast. Been doing it since 1946.
Oh,
and
wow.
We are all stuck in our homes. I'm Melissa.
Hey, I'm John.
And I'm Frack or Frankie.
Tell us how your quarantine's going, guys.
I'm putting on some weight. I'll tell you that. I have, gotten rid of all of my dietary restrictions. I was doing keto for a while and keto for months, and now I'm doing Cheez-Its all day. So that's a thing.
Keto for month, Cheez-Its all day. Also, I wasn't drinking wine. Now I drink wine every night. It's
Yep,
fine.
we got some wine being delivered here soon, so I'm stoked for that. A present from Mom. Thanks,
Nice.
How about
Mom,
you,
for-
Frankie?
My apartment has never been so clean and organized because I'm having to work from home, and that's odd because I'm not used to that. So like my living room, I'm working from I can't work in a non-environment, and so it's forcing my apartment to be really clean. And then in my downtime, I'm just like I did my balcony. My balcony's all nice and fancy, like nice and decked out now. I'm cleaning out closets. Next thing I know, I'm gonna run out of things clean, and then I'm curious what's gonna happen. But yeah, it's been huge. I'm glad I have two kitties come.
I'm glad for that too.
I have a new shower curtain to
yes.
block off my desk. Do you see this? Diagonal.
Oh, that's
I
a
get it
shower
now.
curtain?
the shower curtain. I got
So
it.
this is
right
like your
before-
office.
not
I didn't even
really
think about making a connection, like dividing my room off.
Yeah, divide your room, get a couple of cheap shower curtains, and look at I can just pet the dragon. See?
I like
The
it.
dragon that was never there.
Where did you find such a thing?
Amazon, and they also have I have one that's a 9 1/4. That's a brick wall.
Oh, that's dope.
Every now and then
Ooh,
I make
I
the
like
brick
that.
wall up. Yeah, but I like the because it looks like I'm in diagonally.
Yeah. Is the brick wall on the other side?
No, it's another curtain. I got
I know,
two
but
curtains.
you
'cause they
should
were
hang
cheap.
the other one so that when you're on the other side of it in your bedroom, there's just a brick wall.
And I should make like a cut.
No, just
Like
yeah,
just-
and just go or just like however you go through that one right now. So you just kind of go through it, and so then on this side you're in diagonally. On that side,
Well, I love that.
Ooh.
I see in the so we are for those who are listening to later, we are live on Mismanaged Twitch channel right now, and we've got about people in the chat right now chatting, telling us about their lives and the quarantine and their lives and their quarantine.
I want to hear about the most unique, interesting quarantine story.
All right, well,
Because for the most part, these are pretty similar.
yeah, we're bored and we're eating.
Yeah.
Also, John, I normally have a very, I can't eat certain things because I have a screwed up
Oh,
thyroid,
sure.
So I like lean into it, and I don't eat a lot of carbs and all, just as like a general, not like keto, but like general sort of life.
Oh,
health
yeah,
thing.
general.
Nope.
You're eating some pasta?
Some gluten-free pasta, some gluten-free bread. I read this great article from a mom that was like, I am not instituting a homeschooling system right now. My kids are worried. We are scared. We are eating carb, watching television, and
There you
that's
go.
it. And I think that's okay right now.
Mhm.
like people know, your family and their family's needs.
Yeah. No, it'll be one thing if, we're stuck at home for months and months on end. Then at that point, you have to kind of come up with some kind of routine. But for now, it's been like a week, maybe 2 for some states and cities.
This is
so
the beginning of our 3rd week work home.
Wowzers.
Yeah, we sent everybody home early. It's New York. We saw the cases start to rise.
I guess this is the beginning of ours as well. Come to think of it, the time is just starting to blur a little bit though.
Yeah.
This is my first full week work home. I started last, but then we started implementing stuff earlier that was like 2 week-ish, but not for me actually not being at work and working a week.
Right. Are you guys worried, or do you think about this sort of like lockdown at this point? Do you think you've been home long enough? Fine.
Oh, I mean for my own personal health?
Yeah, and your family.
See, I have the benefit of being very far away from my family. Not benefit, but in this regard, it's benefit. Like I have I'm not traveling down SoCal and my grandma or grandparents in a way like that. So I'm lucky that I'm already kind of insulated from my close family. So I'm just more turned up my own. I heard that it's more respiratory, so I don't want to get it because I don't want to get all that. So I'm like nervous. Like, I'm not like, I don't know. Like to me, I'm more nervous about like job and like mental health being by myself so long.
Yeah.
Is that boy. Gilly barking because the other dog just got back from a walk.
Aww.
Oh, Gilly. Gilly starred in our last podcast.
Yeah.
That's awesome. People want to see Gilly. Bring her over.
Bring Gilly over.
Here, come here.
Bring Gilly. People need to see. Oh, Gilly. There's Indy. John has 2 dogs in his house. Look at Gilly.
Okay.
Look at Gilly.
Oh my goodness, Gilly.
Ridiculous.
Okay, Mama.
John, didn't you tell the dogs you were podcasting? What do you got to tell them?
Well, she doesn't quite understand.
All right, so couple quick housekeeping, whatever notes. We have a Patreon. Please go and support us if you want to come. If you want early episode releases, if you would like to join our Discord, where we're having actually a lot of fun. It's same Discord.
Ooh, I'm learning Discord. It's fun.
Isn't Discord cool?
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I need to learn it better, but I'm enjoying it.
Lot of conversations, gaming and pets and cooking and what we're all doing with our quarantine, and basically people from Leak Media and people from Pottercast are all in this. So access through our Patreon gets you access to Discord. It's a lot of fun. It's also where we talk about 9 Quarters, our playing show.
I wrote some stuff for you guys the other day.
Okay, so soon we have another episode coming soon. There's an edit, like the raw edit done. Very excited.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
How are we doing on getting new editors, by the way? I think I've seen a bunch of emails come in.
New podcast editor. Yes.
Folks that are interested.
Podcast editor and that is not a sustainable situation for it.
No, I thought there was all sorts of people that emailed about it.
They did, and it takes time to email them
Oh,
back.
that's right. Yeah, HR is a pain in the ass, man.
Those things. It takes a minute.
If you want to volunteer to be Pottercast HR, email us at
I don't want to remind you or anything, but giant crisis going on in the world, and running a small business and streaming every night. It's actually been like the busiest time of the last 6 months, I think.
Streaming everything?
I've been streaming a lot. I am really mad at how often I've had to do my hair while in quarantine.
Oh, geez.
I was gonna say, her hair does look nice. I just tied mine up.
I just showered because I went outside and I ran down the block. I ran outside like a person who runs outside because that's my only option. So I sort of like slowly huffed and puffed down the block because it was the only way to get exercise, and actually like my body started to shut down without it, like the ache pain, just going to the gym. So anyway, that's why we don't have a Pottercast editor yet.
Well, gee, that was a long way to get there, but I'm glad we got there.
Have you met me? All right. We have some discussion topics offered by Pottercast listeners on our Facebook, on our Facebook group, on our Twitter, on our Patreon. We basically asked for input everywhere, and we got a lot of fun conversations.
Oh, wonderful. Let's hear some of it.
Well, this one's not exactly Harry Potter related, but I thought it would be a fun one.
Naturally.
Eve J. Braun asked for us rank Disney movies watch.
Oh, interesting. With their kids.
Well, the
age
of the
what
kids
Disney
is
movies
relevant
can't you watch
here.
with your kids? Are there Disney movies you can't watch with your kids?
There's some that are probably going to be more enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly. Because I would say like Ratatouille, even though Pixar, but it's still good quality.
Wait, is Ratatouille not for kids?
It's not that it's not safe for kids. Usually, it's like kids get bored in Ratatouille. That movie is a grown up. Is for adults. Like the emotional stakes are very emotional. They're not very like, oh no, end of the world. They kind of do that a little bit with it's not the like I've heard a lot of my friends who have kids say that their kids get bored during Ratatouille. Okay. But it's one of my favorite Pixar movies.
Have you all watched Frozen yet? It's like on Plus, right?
Yes, and I have very strong opinions about Frozen.
I love it. I think it's wonderful.
Frankie does not like it.
How dare you? Frankie.
No, I didn't like the
Dare
first
you.
one.
Well, then
Yeah, I
your
mean-
opinion.
First one is a story structure disaster, but the characters are wonderful and the character relationships are amazing and the songs are really compelling, so it worked. Frozen 2 doesn't suffer from like the cognitive dissonance that the first one does, of just like literally it starts snowing, like Elsa starts singing a song, and then by the time she gets up the mountain, they're already snowed out of all of their winter supplies, and people are already freaked out, like what? Like, but it doesn't matter because the emotional stuff there works. Yeah. Frozen 2, I did really like their reveal.
Don't tell me, I didn't watch yet.
I haven't watched it yet. Then why am I
What
talking
are you
about it?
doing not having watched it yet?
Alyssa.
Did you hear my aria I just did about running a small business during a global emergency?
Oh my god!
You
but
almost
you
made
don't
me
take
spoil
any
it.
time to watch a movie here and there.
I mean, we've been
No,
watching
no.
Succession. That's a problem.
I was just going to spoil it for you. I'm going to let you watch before I start tearing apart.
Okay. I've heard this rant before, though, Frankie, without spoilers. I've heard.
But this Frozen 2 one?
Yeah, I've heard you sort of go on about it a little bit.
Okay. I can talk about it abstractly without spoilers. I just don't want to. I didn't want to color your opinion.
Well, to
I've been
answer
trying to talk about this movie on this show since I watched it.
All right,
months
I will
ago.
watch it this
I can't
weekend.
believe you haven't watched it yet.
I will watch it this weekend, okay?
All right.
All right, I promise. To answer the question, I put number one kid movie to watch right now at Moana. That's my big one.
That's a cute one. Great music, fun animation, fun story.
I love Moana.
Very nice.
Love it.
I really like Tangled's a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Aladdin. Aladdin holds up. Beauty and the Beast is pretty good, except for the little Star Conundrum.
How about the Toy Stories?
I haven't seen 4 yet. I heard it wasn't that great.
It was fine. I mean, 3 was fantastic.
3 was...
Yeah, 4. To me, 4, there is something, like, again, this is more of a, it'll be a spoiler for Talk 2 specifically, but there's something in 4 that I swear they had to switch, and there were some artifacts left in. Like, did you watch Zootopia?
Yeah, I love Zootopia.
In Zootopia, late in the production, they got rid of collars. There was going to be where the predators had to wear collars the whole movie, and it would switch red to green if they got mad, and they switched it because it was too on the nose. So they had to go back and remove all existence of that, and they did a great job. This one, I feel there was some sort of shift in the narrative, that there were still some remnants of it, and I want to know what changed. Because
did you know in the movie Cats, they originally had buttholes on all the cats, and then at the end they had to remove all of the buttholes?
I've heard that's a little apocryphal, John.
What does that mean?
Apocryphal means not real.
No, it's totally real.
No, I've heard it may be exaggerated, this story.
What do you mean exaggerated? It's a butthole or it's not a butthole.
Have you seen the butthole?
No, because they removed them.
So you believe that this is case?
Some people have seen them, and they have been trying to get someone to leak a copy of.
You want a leaky butthole?
No, leak butthole. They wanted to leak the version of the movie with the buttholes.
I remember when it was trending.
The butthole cut. You know.
At what point did the buttholes get removed?
I don't remember.
Because it wouldn't have had a cut if it wasn't really, really late.
I know that they had to recut it after the first week of it being in theaters because they left things like human hands and human feet and all this weird things.
Yeah, that was
unfinished. Ring, that was
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, that was unfinished.
I still haven't actually seen the movie, so I'm just waiting for that butthole version before I bother watching the whole thing.
I haven't watched it. You know why I won't watch it?
Because it's pretty bad.
No, well, that one. Also, there's a cockroach, and I live in New York. I get enough of that. Fine.
I've heard it was like the most ridiculous part of the whole thing, though.
The cockroach dance?
Yeah.
No, there was a ridiculous part of the movie where it's supposed to be a very tragic moment, and 15 people that were here with friends all laughed at it. It was supposed to be this really like, oh, sad moment, but just the way they played it, it was funny. Like, why did he crawl on the floor all of a sudden? He hasn't done that all movie. Like, it's just a bizarre, weird movie.
It's an incredible phenomenon, Kat. The fact that it did so well in the theater is because the show doesn't make more sense. And I haven't seen the movie, and I can say that definitively. The show doesn't make more sense. And it's based on this T.S. Eliot poem, and it's just weird. Anyway, we're not talking.
I assumed that it was a good musical because of all the acclaim it got, but it just just like Dear Evan Hansen. I saw Dear Evan Hansen.
It got good. Wait, the Cats movie didn't get acclaim. The Cats movie got
the musical. The musical.
Oh, the musical. Yeah.
Sorry.
So in the 80s.
Yeah, I had no idea.
And the movie in the 2020.
Yeah, and what's different, like when you like Cats in like when I've seen I saw the movie and then I went and saw some of the stage recording. On stage is probably very compelling. Like those are athletes doing this great stuff, but we have superhero movies now where what they're doing isn't anything special. It's just okay. So they didn't choose to use in my opinion, they didn't choose to use the the movie way of telling a story.
I agree.
We're still talking about cats.
Yeah, I don't know why we're talking about cats. It started
I don't
at
want to talk
Disney and it
about
went
cats anymore.
to a bad place.
I want to give my choice for what to watch of Disney, and first one that popped into my head, given the current situation, how lots of small companies are shutting down, and lots of people are going to be working at Amazon temporarily. I would suggest watching WALL-E. Yes, because now WALL-E just got a whole lot more likely.
Oh, interesting. That's true.
No, it did. There's a book that a friend of mine, Rob Hart, wrote called The Warehouse, and it's about a future where climate change is so bad and the world is so distraught that basically the Amazon of their world, which is called Cloud, the Amazon of their world, you have to fight to get a job there, and then you live on campus, like a work live place, because you can't even survive out in the hot outside climate. And in that world, the inciting incident that caused go so bad to finally like tip over into where basically trolls country is they're called the Black Friday massacres, and it was a lot of violence happening on Black Friday, and it made people not want to go outside. So you can see what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stories out there right now of the Amazonification like up, because this notice Bezos has been out there saying it's good by hiring all the people. What's he going to do by hiring all the people? He's going to work. Please don't start me on this rant.
Yeah.
It's bad. And I have a friend that has been singing how bad Amazon is for years and years and years, and I think he's right.
Yeah.
But look, I was able to get a Diagon Alley curtain, and it doesn't make it all worth it.
I know, right? That's a whole thing. I don't know.
That's a whole thing.
But Wally's pretty cute.
But Wally's
cute. Wally.
Wow.
Oh, frag it again.
Wow.
Eva.
Okay. Why don't we do a Harry Potter related question?
Oh, wonderful. That's a good idea.
All right. The Weasley family is quarantined.
Oh, Jesus.
What hijinks ensue?
Oh, man.
What did Fred and George get up to?
I mean, that would be really challenging for them to keep it interesting for like any real length of time, no? Like,
Okay, Fred and George are stuck inside.
Yeah.
And they only have their family pick on.
Yeah.
What starts to happen?
I imagine they would do it randomly, and then they get bored. Then they would pick a family member each week, and then pick how they would prank that family. So, and I think the fun in them would be getting around Molly. Like, if they can, the goal this week is like, we're picking on Jenny, and we have to do it in a way that can't back to us. Like, I think that could probably keep them on their toes, because I think in a way, Molly's like mothering and being such a good like household provider is like inverted in the twins' mischievousness, because like they both need a lot of like creative problem solving and adaptation skills. And so like I could see how Molly would be their ultimate foil. You know what I mean? Like they can get around Phil tease, but Molly's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, I think they've been getting around her all their lives. I think they would mimic. I think they would be so terrible as mimics in whatever they're quarantined. Say it was a smallpox outbreak, a dragonpox outbreak, not dragonpox outbreak, right? Because that's a magical malady, right? So dragonpox outbreak, and I think they curse everybody in the house to have the physical symptoms of it without actually suffering. They're not monsters.
Yeah.
Everybody walking around with like actual dragonpox.
Yeah. I think the ultimate would be, and I'm not sure which one of the Weasley kids would be clever enough to figure this out, but tamper with the clock and make it appear as though you're not actually home, and let them freak out. They're like, what are they doing out, at the grocery store or at the park or whatever other number represents something.
See, that's the week they pick on Molly.
Yeah.
I mean, pick on Molly at your own peril, right?
Right.
But they've been doing it their whole lives.
Yeah, true. I'm just trying to think what would be the circumstance that would quarantine a wizard in their home.
I think it's the same sort of thing. There are magical illnesses that they don't have a cure for yet. It's like
But they could do like a Victor Crumb bubblehead charm. They're wizards.
Oh,
like,
man, we could all do a bubblehead charm, right?
It'd be so legit.
But then you're thinking that Muggle viruses and wizard viruses behave.
Right.
I would imagine. I like the idea that there's a scaling difficulty, because magic makes things easier, but it also complicates things. So kind of balances out in my head.
Yeah.
And the idea of having to control for all the factors of what a magical malady do is really interesting, because we know certain things about the natural world, right? Bleach kills the thing or whatever, or if you're wearing a mask, you have X% less chance to get, it travels through air. All that. But when you're talking about magic, when a new illness arrives, that must be devastating and hard in the magical world, because the factors are crazy. It could appear, it could apparate. What if an illness could apparate into your blood?
There is a show called The Magicians that I talk about probably, and in that show they talk about that a lot, like conditions for magic change, like something in the last they had to move the moon, and now none of their spells work because a lot of their spells were written in the magic science to be contingent on the moon being constant. Now that variable, all their spell work long, and they have to like create safe space. Like, it's fun to think about the exponential
well, too soon? Is it too soon to have this conversation? No.
Oh, was that a spoiler?
No, I mean, like, this is too real.
Oh, no. I think so. That was what Fred and George, what about? I guess Molly would definitely.
Oh my God,
time to
Molly
like
would be
clean.
cooking nonstop.
Oh, and she'd be like, okay, time. That's what they're doing with like the Grindelwald place. Wait, what's it called? Not Grindelwald place.
The 12 Grimald place.
Grindelwald place.
Not the Grindelwald place.
Like how she had everyone doing chores, cleaning up. Like I could see the burrow getting a thorough cleaning.
Oh, she'd be walking around scouring everything. Came in from the outside because there would probably be things you had to go outside for. But I could see her setting up a whole area in front of the house where if you were coming in from outside, you first stop there and sort of like decontaminate, like in those movies.
I could definitely see Arthur getting into a bunch of Muggle stuff and start tinkering around the garage, get himself trouble, computer or radios, something like fast down time.
But Jenny, what does she do?
Jenny would probably acquitted.
Book Jenny or movie Jenny?
Book Jenny. I don't accept movie Jenny. Come on. You're real, John.
Film Jenny is just staring at the wall for like hours on end, waiting for someone to interact with her.
It's like a video game character. When you creep up on the video game characters, you clearly haven't crossed the pixel that activates them yet, and they're just standing there staring at each other, sort of like going,
yeah, basically.
That's Ginny.
Pretty much.
Waiting to be interacted with.
Yeah.
I've been playing Last of Us, that video game I love more than any other video game on this channel, and I keep going into this one area where it's really hard to get through, and these two characters are just sort of like just staring at each other as you push going, just sort of like bouncing up and down because you haven't activated them yet. Anyway.
that real quick, that game is scary, right? You're killing zombies.
Well, it's
cool.
Virus.
It's fun.
But that's the one you have to actually like hit them in the neck, hit them in the jaw, then like break their arm.
It's gross. It was way grosser in 2013, and I imagine the one that got in May, right up with better graph. But
you could not pay me to play that game.
Frankie, it's so good though.
No,
it's one of the best stories.
You know what? I think I have something called
trypophobia.
No. Oh, what is it called? Mirror touch syndrome.
That
where if you see someone getting touched, you feel it.
Ooh.
I think I have a degree of that because I can't watch or like I don't know how to test for it. I've just read in articles. I'm like, this sounds familiar, and so like I don't think I'm like, oh, I have it. But at the same time, like I can't watch or hear violence. I feel it like in movies. Like I think about things in movies and like or things that visual, and I have to like process it and watch.
In the chat, Emma says you're a wizard. Confirmed.
Confirmed.
You have a sort of like synesthesia, but for touch.
Synesthesia, that's what it is. It's called mirror synesthesia. Yeah,
I can see being a synesthesia for sure.
Yeah, that's what it is, but it's a touch one.
Okay, so probably don't want to play it.
No, I just know I couldn't.
Yeah, but how did you play Overwatch?
Overwatch is cartoons.
Oh,
like, and it's not gun. Like, it's just,
right.
It's like, and it's like, it's nothing. It's bullet sounds and people going ah, not like popping bone and like people's necks.
So, all right, let me hold on. This video game, the story is about a virus that if you've ever watched the Planet Earth series, John, I feel like probably watched. Have you ever watched Planet Earth?
Series? Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So there's a virus called the cordyceps fungus, not virus, that infects ants, and it's a mold that gets into their brain and tells them to either attack other members of their colony or lay down and die, and then like mold sort of spreads. So it's just a killer. And they just were like, well, what if this made the jump human? And so you basically have these zombies that are walking around like giant mold monsters. It's horrifying. But the premise is that like wiped out 80% of life, and it's 20 years later, and like what does society look like then? And the game's flipping amazing. And I've been playing it on this channel. Every night or so, I'm sort of hopping on for an hour.
I hear it's great. Everyone so highly of it. Whenever I clips of it, I'm really impressed. Like storytelling, the degree of acting. But then when I see the actual combat, it's so uncomfortable. And I'm just like, oh, video games need to be in skate. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Are there other games that you guys are playing right now?
Red Dead Redemption still because it's awesome.
We're gonna
we need to play it together.
Yeah, I have a online character ready to go.
I just finished Star Wars Fallen Order.
That looks fun.
Oh, if anybody follows like the Clone Wars cartoon or follows just like Star Wars canon, it is so much fun. Just playing a movie. You get to play a movie. It's really great. And like you get to be you're gonna use the Force, which I mean that's why I like Star Wars Space Magic part. And so that I was really impressed storytelling and acting, and just it followed the video game. I mean, if you follow any of the animated series or the films, you're gonna be like, oh wow, I feel like they tied in both. It's worth the play. Enjoy that.
Someday soon we're gonna hop on the stream and play Red Dead or with everybody like together and play Red Dead. So just have fun. John, Frankie, considering your synesthesia, I don't know that you'd enjoy Red Dead.
Well, Red Dead is like I know Red Dead is a good game, and I hear it's amazing, but I just don't have any interest because there's no like magic. If I'm gonna play a video game, I need to have powers. Magic.
Have any of you guys played Animal Crossing yet?
I don't have it.
Not the new one. I've been trying to buy a Switch, and they're sold out like everywhere or they're like marked up almost twice as much. Like I don't know where all those
because
price gouging police are on these items, because they're policing the toilet paper all well and good, but the Nintendo Switch does not need to be $600 right now when it was $300 a few months ago. Yeah, supply and demand, I guess, but I guess that's allowed. I suppose it's not like a critical item or anything.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of like
that's wild. First of all, all right, we have a question from Hermione Juliet. Says, or they say, I think we could all use some Patronus gush. I don't know where to go with that, but first of all, what are your guys'
Patronus for me? I've always thought it was like this cute little monkey. I haven't updated that thought in time. I can't think better.
Or an otter.
I like an otter.
Ooh, that's cute.
Something playful or even an octopus.
Ooh, Frankie, I like that.
Ooh, you know what, John? Yeah, I see an octopus for you.
An octopus.
Those are good problem solvers. Imagine that as a Patronus too. It's like swimming through the air with all its tentacles. That'd be and ink. You could have like glittery dark ink.
I like that.
I've always thought
yours is a line.
Oh, my wine delivery service is here. Look at that. Look how that works.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Aww. The wine delivery service is a cute smile.
It does.
What's yours, Melissa?
We've always said that it's a lion. I think that's about right. I think my protector take form of because my well, I don't know.
No, I would say lion. But what else would you think?
Though. So Will's really my protector. My wine delivery service is also my protector.
Oh yeah, and Patronus has changed.
So he's a sort of quieter.
What's Will's animagas?
Or what's his demon?
I believe his demon is like a marmoset, not marmoset. He said this, and I think he's right. Pine marten, same one as Lyra, but I believe it is a pine marten. So
it's very.
It's like curious and loyal.
Yeah.
And calm. So what would be the Patronus of that?
I mean, it could be a pine marten.
Yeah,
I like that idea. I like the bleeding of the two in the sense of like your soul can be a reflection of your protector.
Mm-hmm, I agree.
So it doesn't always I think mine probably be. I used to say penguin, but I think mine's an owl right now, or a moth. Not a penguin.
A moth is our 9 3/4.
I know, that's why I use that. I love moths because for me they were such a symbol I used in that really, really dark doubt time of my life. Come back. I've always liked moths, and I was just always like, you know what? All I have to do is go toward my truth, the light. So like moths are attracted flame of the light, So that's why I like. And they're beautiful.
Maybe
I'm gonna be a moth now. I think. Yeah.
Like, would it be a giant moth? Because like I'm trying to imagine it fighting a Dementor.
It could be.
Oh my god, it'd be great. It'd be like a big
shape. Or could it be like a bunch of moths that like all
I think it
overwhelm?
Like a starling.
I think when I would summon it, it would be a moth on my finger, and then when it would protect me, it could change. It would swarm into it would flutter into a swarm or a giant one. But initially, it would just be like if I were to summon it to like send a message, it could just land right here and be like a normal sized moth, and it would flutter off. But if like a Dementor came here, it could be like, and its wings could become like a big force draw.
You should draw it. All right. Let's see what else we got in there. Do we have any other things
Next
to say about
question, y'all.
I like these questions. They're fun.
They're really good. Shout out some good AP fan content out there for people to enjoy while at home.
Honestly, I've been seeing a lot of great like fan or Potter in general content on YouTube lately. There are YouTubers that have popped up over the past year that have very similar sort of formats, or at least a similar method of dissecting and analyzing books that we've done for years, podcast form, but doing it video. And some of it's just looking direct to camera and talking about it, but others, mix that in with lots of other things and, like clips of film.
I love video apps like that.
Yeah, there's people that are really good at that.
Who are they? Give us some rec.
The only one that's popping into my head right now is Jenny Nicholson.
That's the one that you guys mentioned in the last stream.
It is. I'll mention her again.
Film Joy. It does a good one on like the Harry Potter film stuff.
Cool. We're hearing Emma's recommending Susan Paul in the chat. I haven't watched any of it. I gotta say, like, because we do LeakCon and because I'm always sort of in that world, I don't absorb a lot of it when I'm not working, So I recommend the Mist from Home stream where we have lots of Harry Potter content. But yeah, Frack, what are you drawing?
Oh, I'm always drawing when I talk. It helps me focus.
I know. What are you drawing?
Right now, I'm drawing on. I'll show you guys. I started a drawing on. I had to go for a walk on Sunday because I was going crazy. Yeah. So Clark and I went to the park and I drew the park. And so now I'm drawing.
Oh wow!
And so the red part right there is I'm gonna draw me and Clark in there, but in my wizard form. And so
cool.
It's gonna be like a giant Clark, and then so it's just gonna be kind of like I'm gonna treat it kind of like a journal entry, like day da 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 da. We would then just kind of. So I'm changing when I walked by. I went to the park and it was kind of like all shut down, and then I saw saw these 2 owl statues. I'll make
You put it up on our Patreon later?
Of course.
Cool. So heard it here first, y'all. Okay. Ariung, let me finish that. Ariung93 asks, why did Fred and George, previous owners of Marauders map, not notice that Peter Pettigrew was sleeping in their brother's bed for years before giving the map to Harry?
They probably weren't looking at their brother or Harry Potter, and they didn't know who Peter Pettigrew was. Is he famous? Because like if you were to ask me about like what Charles Manson when I was a kid, that was a big deal when I was like in the early 80s. I wouldn't know.
Interesting. That's an interesting idea. Don't you think they would have? I guess they never looked at it while the guys were sleeping for those, right? They were using it to travel through, secret passageways and find all the ways out of Hogwarts. They never really looked at the tower while like boys fifth floor tower. Also, if you look at a map and you look at a tower and you look at it from the top down, it's probably cluttered names and you can't really.
Well, I mean, I agree in that, but I think that's why they made that map so foldy and weird that it folds out. I think that was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would hope it'd be something.
Yeah, I kind of always had the impression that their use cases for the map were to like further their ability to like explore, or in some cases like sneak out of the castle. And they probably, for them to have felt like they've gotten their use of the map, to the point where they can part with it, then the use of the map as like looking at who is currently where was not their favorite part of it. It was more about, learning the ins and outs of the castle, and they feel like they have
they found
now.
it. Yeah, they're looking for the place they need. They're looking to see if a teacher in the hallway. They're not looking.
Yeah, they're not looking to see people. They're just looking for a path.
Yeah.
Now, if they had the ability to use detect magic, then they could find all of the other secret paths.
All right. I'm moving on.
All right, what do we got?
Question from 62442 Melissa on Instagram. Happy fandom memories from over the years. What are some of your happiest fandom memories?
I honestly, whenever I think about like pottercast, of like, I always think of our 2009 summer. That was such a big, long tour. It was so fun that we get so full.
Yeah.
And go to so many different venues. That was my first time going to so many states. So like, I got to, it was fun. That was my favorite thing.
Yeah, nothing tops the tours in general, really. I mean, you could throw back to Deathly Hallows coming out and how exciting that was. Every time that we were on the cusp of getting a new book was always the most exciting, most memorable times. And then outside of that, just going to like the Wizard Rock shows, and particularly when you get a big group of people together watching them, and there's all sorts of energy and a mix of people who are there for the first time and people that have seen it 10, 20 times. All of those times where honestly you're with people IRL, which sort of sucks about right now, but just because it amplifies it, as much as you like the thing on your own by yourself, when you're in the presence of other people that really like it too, it has a way of multiplying.
Community's powerful. Yeah.
I have too many. Every LeagueCon is special in its own way. I think some of the biggest, they're all at LeagueCon. There are tours and LeagueCon. The actually being live with hundreds or sometimes thousands of other Harry Potter fans sort of can't be. As I look at Diagon Alley, I remember all the times that we've rented the park in Orlando, and it's just remarkable. We have a lot of great memories. I think my number one fandom memory. I can't pick one. Sorry, I felt like I was going to pick one there, but I can't.
We gave this person lots of good answers.
It's a new exciting thing, and it's always evolving, and so it's sort of like one out of all of them is really, really hard. But when we got to interview Joe, that was really cool.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Jesus.
That was.
I didn't get to do that. Whatever.
That was pretty.
Frack. I don't know that's gonna happen anymore. Frack.
I know.
I don't know that we would welcome it anymore. I mean, I guess, but every time I see the fandom sort of coming together to make bigger than it just series of books or just a set of movies, like when I see like friendships being formed and lives being changed, that kind of thing is what fuels everything you do right now. Also, what's happening now is actually really inspiring, and we're not going to get too heavy into heavy stuff right now because we all need some light right now, so we'll address those things later. But the reaction to all the kind of bad stuff been happening in the Harry Potter universe has been for the fans be like, you know what, no, this has been important to me and it's been a lifeline to me, and I won't let anyone, not even the creator, take that away. And that's been kind of really amazing and inspiring and a real stick it to the man moment that I always knew the fan did. See it actually happen, and to see us say, all right, well, this is our fandom. We're not conceding it just because we don't like things. It's been really cool.
Yeah, it's very on brand for Potter. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, oh well, that's kind of nice that its own logic supports itself in that way. It's like, sure, there's some very, very, very problematic things that people involved are doing, but at the same time, story in itself still stands true. Next question.
I like this question. This is from our friend Sid Getch, who actually I told you before, but she did a live drawing. You should go check out.
Oh, Sid?
Sydney, yeah.
Nice.
If you were on a team of fan consultants for a new Harry Potter adaptation, what book scenes would you ride or die for and tell them they had to get right? And just for frack, what would your dream H scene be to storyboard in a possible animated adaptation? You're crying.
It's a cool question.
For me, it would have to be book 5 because honestly, I love book 5 so much because to me that's when they grow up and that's when they transition from being like, I don't know, like, and it's just appropriate. It's so appropriate right now, timing wise, with our government federal, like with our executive branch, whatever. Like, it just seems so appropriate. Come to storyboarding off that. You guys go.
What do you think, John?
Can you repeat that question one more time?
Yeah, hold on. If you were on a team of fan consultants for a new Harry Potter adaptation, what book scenes would you ride or die for and tell them they had to get right?
Trying to think of the things that I've blamed about the most over the years. You'd think there'd be a running list of those.
Who's not?
Like,
No Dawlish answer, John? The Dawlish from the book 5?
Dawlish from the book 5 was very underrepresented, all of his scenes. Yeah, I mean, I could give you that answer. That's an easy answer. I feel like I would revisit how they portrayed Dumbledore. I feel like it's a whole different character in the books, and not that Gambon not likable in his way, particularly as time went on there, but his relationship with Harry was very different and much more distant, much less than what felt like was there, as you were reading. Yeah, I'd watch that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's be honest, there's a few of them. For me, one of them would be if you want to kill Harry, you're gonna have to kill us too and get that right. Make it Ron and not make Ron so comical. It's like Ron, we're gonna fix Ron and we're gonna fix Hermione all up, down, and left and right because as you've heard me rant before, Ron is not just comic relief and Hermione has a lot of knowledge but doesn't have the knowledge of the wizarding world that she is given over and over again in the films. Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire is important fix, but I don't want to just talk about like saying what they did in the movies. I would talk about paying particular attention to Harry's development 5. He never gets his anger moment, never learns about the saving people aspect of his character. That's very important. Also very, very, very important is the scene where he buries Dobby. And the scene where he sort of is it all together. That I'm going to take everything I know about Dumbledore. I'm going to take everything I've learned. I'm going to put it all together and come a plan myself. That's very important. I would also advocate for like taking a beat, taking a breath, and like allowing they're more quiet and allowing, like the final confrontation with Voldemort needed to just Harry and Voldemort circling each other in a circle and just trust the story. Every time they trust the story, it was great. When George gave that line about being holy, it was great because it was from the book and it worked. If why they couldn't trust Harry and Voldemort circling each other, being this perfect circle of tension.
Yeah.
Why did they have to go on a freaking? And I don't even mean from the fixing the movie's perspective. I mean from a thing you have to get right. You have to get that final location right.
Yeah.
And you have to get everything about Harry's survival guilt right. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say like it's true because that ending just reeked of like an executive note that I would see sometimes before I was storyboarding when I was PA. With some like stuff is like, oh no, it needs to be more risk. It needs to be like end of the world, too bigger. And so, but there is something cool that they did in the sense of like, okay, we're gonna take advantage. We're in a movie. When you're in a movie, you can literally go anywhere because everything's redone. Right. But at the same time, you get to look at the safe story that they told. So there's a way of doing a complex like that. That would actually be a fun one to storyboard now. Ty, if I can get to the question, to kind of like storyboard that in a way that would be interesting. Because I guess I could teach that story. Do you guys remember Avatar and Korra?
Yes, I never watched Korra. I need to watch Korra.
Oh my God, Emma. I mean, you're not Emma. You're my friend at work named Emma. There's a lot of shows that I want her to watch, and I get all like passionate.
You get mad about it?
I get passionate, not mad. Because Korra is a beautiful. Like the second season, it took me a little to get used to, and but the more I watched it, the character development they get Korra, it's like something out of a novel. You don't get that type of character development on screen. Like we get in her head, which is hard to do visually. Anyway,
who played her is now like a friend of ours from Pottercast last year. She's actually going to be live streaming on Friday here on Mischief from Home. She and Hal Lublin are going to just hang out for an hour and make everybody laugh, which they are experts at doing. So it's going to be great. Awesome. Yeah, and I need to watch Korra. That's on my list. What's on your list of things you haven't quite watched? Get to like we started Succession this week, and boy, are we hooked.
For me, it's Full Alchemist Brotherhood. People have been telling me to watch that since college.
For what?
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, okay.
I said Full Alchemist Brotherhood, huh?
Yes.
Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Okay. Apparently it's amazing, and I've watched like 5 episodes, and it's great. But then I always like too busy or I forget Lupin, so I've restarted it. Like,
what about you, John?
I struggle with. I have a hard time starting new shows, even though there's been a few that I've thought looked really cool. Like I'll give you an example. HBO's Watch. Thought that looked really cool. Almost got into it, and I found out that they weren't picking it up for another season, and then I became less interested in it because like I heard there was some kind of cliffhanger, and I didn't want to be annoyed about never whatever, seeing how that resolves.
But it's a good story.
I know, and I
Good
really liked the
storytelling.
movie and everything, so it's like no.
Okay. I'm going to another question. We only have time for more.
Oh yeah.
So in the chat, tell us what question you have before we wrap. In the meantime, I'm going to some of our pre-selected questions. Kylie actually posed this question: Battle of the OTP. Who is your Harry Potter OT and why? One fairy. Your favorite ship, basically. Your ride or die.
Like that exists, or the one that doesn't?
Any Harry Potter pairing that you think is your true, the one that you love most. I don't think we ever really talk about this for you guys.
I avoided all relation talk through the years because it was something that I was uncomfortable talking about. Being closeted.
Oh, interesting, Frankie.
Oh yeah, I would.
Now?
Oh, that's what I'm thinking. I haven't really given it much thought. It does bother me more now that there aren't any queer Harry Potter. Before it was a source of like justification for my.
Here's a question: do you think if Harry Potter was being released now, we'd have queer characters?
Not yet.
Not yet, but there's so much YA with queer characters.
I guess it depends as who's at the helm at Warner Brothers.
No,
honestly.
I mean the book. Forget Warner Brothers. If J.K. Rowling was releasing them now,
right, like they're doing with Fantastic Beasts, and we got a super gay
but
relationship.
But those are
Dumbledore.
movies. If she was releasing them now, and they had all the acclaim and groundbreaking, if like the Harry Potter phenomenon was happening now instead of 97,007 or whatever it was, do you think we'd have more queer characters?
No.
No.
I don't know. I honestly,
I don't think
you
she's
can't separate like the fact that where we're at now is not influenced by the fact that Harry Potter happened when it happened.
Here's a question: if J.K. Rowling had been born 10 years later,
I don't think maybe that might change because I don't think
Right.
J.K. Rowling is I don't want to say this mean way as much as an advocate is thought. I think when it to the Dumbledore thing, like in her head, like I said this in the past, it was just he was gay. It was just kind of an observation on her part. Like she discovered that he was gay. She didn't choose to make him gay. And so that's cool in the sense that she allowed it, but it's different since that like she wasn't like looking to because I don't know. Like
I don't know.
it could be
I used
something
to
where
think
she
so.
just didn't talk about it, but romance is a part of the story too. So I don't know. I don't think she's as comfortable with it as we assumed she was. Given like
agree with
the
you,
other
Frankie,
stuff
because
that's
I think
happened.
I think that she is okay with some of her characters being gay, but not okay with giving them the full and enriched lives straight characters get. And I resisted that thought for a long time, thinking it was just a fact times and she would have done it now. But now when I look at the fullness of what's going on, I think she just doesn't think those characters deserve as deep of a study as the other the normies do. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Are there other examples of like you said there's like a bunch of YA fiction out there that does have more, diverse characters integrated into their story that jump out at you?
There's lots. And let me clarify, I just said normies as though it's not normal, but what she would have perceived to have been normie. You know what I mean? Like het norm and like very mainstream in the 1997 era. I don't want to be unclear about what I meant there. So you're saying is there YA that is that diverse these days?
Like in the way that we're talking about it. So like
there's so much YA that's diverse.
Yeah, I mean I'm not in any way
but not
up on
paradigm breaking blockbuster YA thing that Harry Potter was and is. That's not happening now. There's a lot of really great, really popular YA fiction, but there's not that.
Let me ask you this. Would if there had been, let's say, a handful of queer characters in the books came out exactly at the same timeline, everything else is the same. Do you think it would have impacted in any way the reception, popularity, and how mainstream story was?
Say that again.
In the 90s?
If from 1997 to 2007, would it have impacted how? I think from book 5 on, it would not have. Book 2 on, maybe there would have a lot more, whatever.
So are you saying that do you think that it would have gotten like a Warner Brothers attention and made it a movie if it made that big a deal if one of the main characters was queer? Are you saying, John?
Warner Brothers had the attention from 1997. It was going to be a movie. Then on.
I know, but I'm saying, is your question asking that if queer parties were a part of that story, if it would have gotten a Warner Brothers eye the same way?
Not even caring about Warner Brothers, just as much as like how popular the books were in public. It
depends what book. In book 1, no, it wouldn't have won the Nestle's Prize. It wouldn't have done the things that it did if it was in book 1 because in 97. Now maybe, but in 1997 it would. Like it would have been an outrage back then.
Because like there was outrage even that there was magic in the damn books, certain schools and things, and the book burnings just for that alone. So
I sat across a table for Mallory.
Yeah.
I forgot about Laura Mallory. That's a name crazy. I haven't heard in forever.
Laura freaking Mallory.
Wait, why do I even know that name? I forgot about her.
She tried to get all the book banned.
Yeah, she's
right. Wow.
Because
I can't even remember. I totally forgot her name.
God told her not to read them, Frankie. God himself told her not to read them.
When I was at my church back in the day, when I grew up in, I even rented from my bookstore, the Harry Potter, I'm not seeing the cults. Figure, okay, I like this book. I'll watch this. I can, if it's their substance here, I'll listen. I'll be humble. And I watched it, and it had nothing to do with Harry Potter. Nothing. They just saw Harry Potter's witchcraft, and they talked about what they perceive witchcraft to be. And I was like,
those people believe more in witchcraft than we do. They believe in magic more than we do.
I know they do. That was
wild, completely wild. Stormy.
Yeah,
sorry. Did we take a left turn into serious territory? Would have been.
No, I don't want to play in this playground. Let's go somewhere else.
Let's go someplace else. All right. If you could put together a team of 5 characters in the Harry Potter series, be in your Doomsday Survival group, who would you pick?
Hermione for sure.
Yeah, Hermione always.
Dumbledore.
Draco because of money. Luna because entertainment.
Draco's not going to give you any of his money.
Hey,
also, would money work?
if I have the only safe spot and he wants to come in, that's the ticket he's getting in on. He doesn't have to come then. He doesn't have to come to my bunker. But if he wants to come to my bunker, he's going to bring his money.
Oh God.
I would want Fred and George because they're so smart, but I think there's only 5. I'd be like, you guys pick one up.
5. Hermione is on.
Do you need Fred and George? Honestly,
that's what I'm saying. You pick one.
Which one?
I don't know. They would get a pick.
I think Luna because she would know things that other people didn't know. Right? We all have a set of knowledge.
Yeah.
And Luna specifically, we have a set of agreed knowledge, and Luna just has other realms of information that we don't.
Yeah.
If I were to be lost in the wild, I'd trust Luna over Hermione.
Totally.
If Fred and George were on the Titanic and there was one spot left on the boat and they had to decide between them which one took it,
Fred.
Who would get on the boat?
Fred.
Yeah,
Why?
then he'd die.
It's an instinct.
Fred?
Fred was the leader-ish of 2.
Right, he was the
one
more
that died.
astrological. Yeah, Fred died. But if he didn't die, obviously.
Okay, so Fred and George are at that place where they get the Soul Stone, the Avengers, and one of them needs to be sacrificed off the cliff. What happens?
They sacrifice George.
They sacrifice. Is George cool with it, or did they kind of fight for it?
I think they would fight for it.
Nah.
If they fought so fervently as Black Widow and Hawkeye, then Fred. But I think Fred would let George win, and then that would be a true sacrifice because he allowed
Fred let George?
So that you just said that they would sacrifice George, and my vehicle for that logic is that if they were both struggling equally, Fred would win. So that means Fred would have to let George win. George sacrifice. I'm just being.
All right. Well, I pick Fred.
Okay.
That's 3 people. I need 2 more people. Dumbledore.
I picked Dumbledore.
Fox.
Come on.
I want to bring Fox. He can cure all my wounds. Cry on my wounds, Fox.
But you can bring Dumbledore, and Dumbledore could summon Fox.
Right. So bring Dumbledore.
Oh.
What's all
Dumbledore
about
is
that?
you're gonna think he's gonna helping us, but then he's gonna send us on through the route of mission that's gonna put us in danger.
You do need a house elf. There's a lot of Dobby in the chat. Do need a house elf. They have magic that
Dobby.
other wizards not.
So yeah, that's what I want. I want Fox, Dobby, Luna. Okay, I got mine. It's Hermione, Fox, Dobby, Luna, and Fred.
Wait,
Boom.
what's the scenario here?
The
Bunker?
Doomsday List. Bunker.
So are you picking Fred because he's gonna cheer you up somehow, or
No, because
No.
he's smart. Him and Hermione
They're-
working together. Oh
Yeah,
my God,
Fred-
they would be able to solve almost any problem.
All right. If I had to swap out Fred, I would choose.
isn't Percy even smarter than Fred?
No.
No.
Percy's just a rule follower.
Percy
He's
is
smart.
just like Percy's like a type A smart. Fred is
Okay.
an abstract creative smart.
All right.
Very opinionated.
It's allowed. I'm cool with it.
I'm trying to think of who else.
Because remember in book 6 when when Hermione complimented Fred and George on their the fantasy thing, their daydream stuff. Like, oh, that's really clever, and he was like, have one on yourself. Like, I think that Fred and George and Hermione have a respect for one another because they're very, very smart.
They are very strategically smart.
Yeah.
Trying to
That's
think of who
mine.
else. Newt has the cake.
But the bunker. Okay, wait. Let's just say that the bunker is the case. So we're bringing people into that.
Yeah, but you can't have the case unless you have Newt.
Okay, so that's just going to give you X space.
I mean, but he also knows animals and stuff and magical stuff.
Oh, so if I could switch out, maybe I switch out.
I'd switch out Fred
Luna
for
for
Newt.
Newt.
I'd switch out Fred. Oh, Luna. Ooh, no, that's horrible. But yeah.
But just for a survival wise, would know.
What about Harry?
Harry just seems like
Good
such
in a
boring
tight spot.
choice.
Yeah, but good in a fight. I would switch out
Yes.
Fred
Is he
for
good
Harry.
in a fight, or is he just
Yes.
lucky?
No,
He's
he's
good
good
in a
in a
fight.
Garbage.
He's not garbage. He's
Come
good-
on.
He's not good in a fight.
Oh my
though.
God, he's so good at defense against dark arts, guys.
Ugh.
Wait, he
I
can
mean,
do
he is.
Patronus
If we're
charm
having
well,
like
and what
a
else has he done?
disarming
He did his
contest.
Patronus charm perfectly from the time he was 13. It's advanced magic.
I know. I mean,
That's
like I
not
said,
normal for a 13-year-old.
I'm just saying his Patronus charm stuff. Yes, great. But
Don't
other
you
than
remember
that,
at the end of 4, makes a specific note to say, like Harry is secretly getting really good at Defense Dark Arts, and by 7, he's very good at Defense Dark
But
Arts.
what does he do other than like he was lucky
good
enough
at
to
a
get
duel.
like he just had his mom's curse on him. Voldemort killed himself.
He's good in a duel, and there might be some duels in the
He
Doomsday
died!
scenario. He also knows how to protect it. He also he died on purpose. He also knows
That's everybody's first choice in a duel. How about I just die?
but he knows all the protective harms. Like this is a
Obi-Wan
good
died on
option.
purpose.
But I
Obi-Wan turned
Here's the
off
thing.
his weapon, and he's like,
Yeah,
all right, do
I would
it.
pick Obi-Wan in that universe. Are you kidding?
Obi-Wan
Well, sure.
Kenobi.
I mean, Harry's no Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I don't think like to me,
Alright,
Harry
alright.
Harry was important because story happened to him.
Yeah, I
And
enjoy him
that's-
as a character, but he's
they-
not like
they-
the warrior I would want on my team in that
Would
role.
you want Voldemort?
Voldemort.
If he was on your side, in a
McGonagall? Ooh, McGonagall!
McGonagall.
No, she would be
There it is.
fantastic.
Or
Think of how
Slither.
handy she'd be.
I want
Okay,
both
so wait.
of them.
My team is Dumbledore, McGonagall,
He's gonna have the cheat staff.
Luna. No, Luna. Newt.
What the fuck are you gonna do with Luna?
Luna would be great. Kidding? You need some creative thinking. And I forgot. Oh, Hermione.
Yeah.
There. What about you?
Again, like, what's the scenario? It's the end of the world or something?
Doomsday. You're running around the road. Last
Yeah.
scenario, and you have a team. Who's
I'm gonna keep Dumbledore, keep McGonagall, add Tonks.
Ooh, Tonks.
That's good.
Infiltration
How many
power.
can I have?
5.
5.
Okay. Possibly Mundungus Fletcher.
Yeah.
Why? Go back.
We need
Why?
different perspectives to get us through this situation, and he's that gnarly underworld sort of, he's gonna get what he needs no matter how he has to do it, and
He's
I don't
like
want to
Morgan
get my
Freeman,
hands dirty.
Shawshank.
I'll have Mundungus go figure out where to find that vial of potion that we need or whatever.
Okay.
You need someone to do that kind of stuff in that situation. And one more, I would say maybe. I mean, is the thought that they're going to be loyal and not like screw with you?
Yes, they're on your team. That's the thing.
Yeah. Potentially Snape
Ooh. Okay.
or Madame Pomfrey. I'm just trying to think of what are like the high level skill sets that somehow aren't represented by Dumbledore, McGonagall. Dumbledore presumably knows some healing, but they still go to Pomfrey for that. And I imagine
Pomfrey.
Dumbledore and McGonagall know how to make potions, but they still go to Snape when important.
That's true.
Okay.
Especially with like the Wolfbane potion.
And I could potentially swap out Mundungus here. I don't know how he just jumped into my head. He's probably only going to be so useful.
Okay.
But he was useful enough to be in the Order, right? Like he had a purpose in the Order. So
Oh, look at Clark. Is that Clark or is that Bruce?
It's Bruce.
Look at Bruce. Yes.
He's so cuddly. He's a lot cuddlier than Clark. So he comes up to me sometimes. He wants to be held. He goes, meh, and then he wants me to hold him.
Oh, Bruce. Want you to hold what kitty?
He's a kitty,
Oh.
kitty, Bruce.
My good. All right. Well, that's a good boy. All right. I think I don't know what I think that we're gonna be back here doing a lot of streams as time goes on. More Potter content. So glad that everybody joined us.
more Potter content.
People need content right now. That's very
Yeah.
important.
And if you enjoyed this episode, leave us a 5-star review on the iTunes because we're getting brigaded over there by
We
folks
are.
that don't agree with us, and it's
Actually-
not so nice.
Actually,
Are we?
yeah. So you know how we did the episode after J.K. Rowling's comments? We were getting sort of bombarded with right-wing praise, giving us
Yeah.
1 star because of identity politics.
Oh.
So if you have a second, you wouldn't head over to iTunes, give us a 5-star review, and say it's nice.
Yeah.
That stuff.
If you can. And
if
for the
you
people
can.
who feel that we're offending you, if we don't believe in a similar belief as you, I can relate in the sense that like I used to have to be patient. I didn't agree with things, but I always use humility as a gauge. So I would encourage everyone to use humility too, even when something you don't think you can understand or you don't agree with, it doesn't mean you have to speak up with.
You're nicer than I am, Frank.
Well, because I'm just speaking from honestly experience. Like I was taught to believe some stuff that was very problematic that I held very devoutly for a very long time.
But you
and
would
like
never.
you're allowed to challenge that. But the difference is that I never came out and attacked people
Right,
for my
exactly.
beliefs, stuff like that, because my beliefs were focused on a humble thing, something out of humility. So I'd encourage people who have a similar upbringing or conservative background, if based biblically, you're not acting in a way reflecting the Bible. Sorry.
Well, on that light note, we'll be producing a podcast while we're all in quarantine. We're gonna hop on Red Dead, John. We're gonna do that this week.
I would like to do that. I think
Let's
that
do
would
that.
be fun.
we're
Frankie,
gonna
do
see
you
how
have it yet?
long my mohawk get.
Yeah.
You get in
Heyo.
2 years.
Follow us here on This Mischief's Twitch. Follow our Pottercast at Twitter, Pottercast Pod on Instagram, and we have face groups, and we have a Patreon. So if you want more content, follow all those things. And thanks so much for tuning in.
Oh, look at
your
my
hair,
glasses
Frankie. Oh my
have
goodness.
strings because I broke them.
Your hair, though.
Oh, I know.
Your hair
I
is is a
Control the-
marvel.
Like I shaved, y'all didn't even notice.
Let me see.
It was
We'll
quite
step up
long
the
for a
shaving.
while.
Quarantine also.
Oh, I like your stumble. Well, your mic was in front of your face the whole show.
The
I
whole
know.
time. We couldn't
I'm
see you
sorry.
at all.
I
Yeah,
didn't really notice.
I'm
Normally, I
carefully
notice your
hiding my
beard.
mic.
it's all good.
I am pro beard.
Yeah, it was
Next
it
time
was
I want
fun,
you to have
but
a backdrop.
Grow a beard.
I touched my face too much when I had it. That was why I shaved it because they say
Oh,
don't
well,
touch your
that's-
face.
I mean,
Interesting.
I'm just being cheeky because I think beards are cute.
I
think
liked
you'd
it
touch
too.
your face more without it, wouldn't you?
No,
No,
because I
because
would
it's not
always
there.
stroke it like a Dumbledore, like thinking about what to do in this situation. Did
You do-
Dumbledore
you do
like
this a
braid
lot.
his own beard?
Probably. That's fun.
had to
I've
have.
been playing with my hair this entire hour. It's too
Yeah.
much fun to play with hair. Look at what Frankie's doing.
I mean,
Don't
like,
you think,
I've only
like-
had hair long enough to do this for like 2 months or 3
Mhm.
months now, and I'm constantly doing this because I feel like, look at me, I'm Pocahontas.
You know what I've always thought about, not always, but have thought about before, and now I'm thinking about in the context of Dumbledore. But did Molly have a charm to braid Ginny's hair?
Probably.
And is that a charm that you could
Ooh,
do
a braiding
like on
charm.
your
How
on
cute
your
would
beard?
that be?
Because that's kind of like a pain in the butt, and to do it well, it's like a real skill. So like I could see if you could somehow integrate some magic into that, that would be darn
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, and I know I bring this example up all the time, talk about how the magic mechanics of the universe. But
Yep.
but like with the taunt thing, like how she packed a suitcase spell and hers
Yep.
wasn't as neat. So if someone did a braid spell and what they were doing, it'd be a nice tight little braid. Someone do a braid
Right.
spell, it'd be a loose braid. That's fun.
Yeah, if they had to make a pizza spell, some people's pizza would be more tasty than other
It's
people's.
like, oh, the pizza, meow, 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 meow. I like the pizza,
Poor cat.
meow, meow.
Okay. Okay.
I make a pizza.
How is George enjoying having you around so much, Melissa?
He loves it. Doesn't understand what's going on.
It's like the best dog holiday
Right,
like that's
though?
ever existed.
Yeah,
He's,
my cats are thrilled.
He's
Yeah.
a smush. He just likes to lay like on me and just
Yep.
cuddle me. That's the biggest smush in the world. Love him
I
so
love that your animal, George. Oh, Gilly's not.
Well, not so much.
Oh, Bruce Clark.
All right, so if it's the good son situation, and Molly's there with Fred and George at the edge of the cliff, and she's got Fred in one hand and George in the other hand, and she has to let go of one. Who does she let go of?
Fred.
Oh god.
You always save the weaker, stronger one. Will
So Fred's the weaker one.
no, Fred's
So wait, you saved the weaker one, or you saved the stronger one?
save the weaker one
Why?
because the stronger one will understand.
What?
I don't know. It's like going for the underdog. I don't know. I hope I never have to choose between two children,
Yeah.
let alone twins, because then
Yeah.
you're always going to be reminded of letting the other one go. 'cause
Oh
they're
my
basically
god,
the
yeah.
exact same thing.
Right. Is there cloning in the wizarding world?
She would probably do some sort of inferior charm where she transfers her concha into Fred and Fred her body. They live, guys play. But it'd
Okay.
be weird. 'cause
Okay.
What would happen if Tonks turned herself into Fred, showed up at the Weasley house, and was like, "Hey, y'all, I'm back."
They would
Like-
become less
That'd be
friends. with
terrible.
Tonks.
That'd be
They
a
would
terrible,
become less friends with
terrible
Tonks.
thing. Yes. they'd be
What a
less-
Tonks prank, though. Like Tonks could be the best prankster in that whole.
That
book.
could be like a TV show. You get tonked.
Get Tonked. You show up.
a,
as
hidden camera show where Tonk polymorphs
Yeah,
into
Like-
someone and tricks you.
that would be fantastic. I mean, it would be perfect in battle. Like, imagine at the Battle of Hogwarts if Tonks showed up as Dumbledore, and like people, like the Death Eaters would run away. Like, it would be a great distraction.
Oh,
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
another
All right,
time.
Another time. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Everybody stay
Have
safe.
fun.
Gotta
Keep
do our
each other
thing. Keep
safe.
each other
you know,
safe.
wash
Oh,
your
well.
hands.
Keep each other safe. Safe.
and the next
Wash your
password
damn
would be
hands.
wash your hands.
Wash
your
your hands. Okay.
And stay inside, even if you're young.
Please stay
Yeah.
inside.
All
Bye,
right,
y'all.
y'all. See ya.
I'm gonna stop recording.
We've missed it.
I confess myself disappointed.
Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to bed.
Great Scott, no wonder. Look at the time. We've been here nearly 4 hours. Spooky how the time flies when one's having fun.